So let's check out how to set up and install this. I'm going to open up a code editor on the right here, and there's two ways we can install this. We have a CDN option, and we're going to start with that first. I have the script tag that's mentioned in the docs here, the unpackage.com script tag. I have it here. I'm going to uncomment it. And this is going to bring the JavaScript bundle into my file through the CDN, and then I can use the ttl-embed-survey element, just like it says here in the docs. It makes this element available for me to use. It's not quite ready yet. I need to include my Tattle ID, or TID for short. I'm going to use this one I have stashed up here. It's just a generic restaurant account for demonstration purposes. You can get yours by emailing integrations@gettattle.com. This is the only attribute that's required for the survey to work, and it's a 32-character alphanumeric string, as you can see here. So once I've saved that, we can take a look at the output on the left side of my code editor, and we have a blue and orange background on the page, nothing happening there, but the survey is loaded in the lower right corner, and I can give a rating, I can change my location, I can change dates and times, select questionnaires, provide my email, and go on to the next steps of the survey, just like we saw before. So that's great. So I'm going to show you next how to install this if you need to use it in a framework and you need to install this locally. So instead of loading this through a CDN, we'll use a slightly different script tag. We'll use this script tag, which references a node modules path. And in order to install that into our node modules folder, we'll just npm install it, like with the command there. So we'll do in the terminal npm install ttl-embed-survey. We'll press enter, and that's going to go fetch the bundle, download it to our local file system here in the project file. And we see our node modules is there, and the Tattle embed survey package is there as well. So now it's ready to go. This ttl-embed-survey element remains the same, nothing changes there, and we can check out how that works now. And as we see, it's the exact same as it was before. Loads in the lower right corner, and we can just use this survey just like before. So those are the two ways, the CDN and the npm install. Now if you're using a framework like React, for instance, or maybe Angular, something like that, you might have an additional step where you have to use this inside of a component, so you'll have to import that inside your component file and then use your framework's syntax to actually invoke the web component as well inside of the framework component. So that's one extra step possibly. Now let's see how we can customize this. So we've already seen the Tattle ID, that's the one required attribute, but there's 4 other attributes we can use to customize the appearance and position of this survey. We can add a font attribute, which will take a CSS font family string. So it would just be added just like any HTML attribute, and I've loaded in from Google API font a Montserrat font. So we can just add Montserrat in this font attribute, and then we can see how that changes our survey. So we've now changed the font of the header in that survey. The font inside the internals of the survey is going to remain the same for consistency and compatibility reasons, but the header font can be customized to match your branding on your site. We also have the color available for us to modify. It's going to require a hex color code string, something like hashtag and then six hex characters. So if your brand color is in RGB or in a CSS string, you might have to convert that. But once you have, you can just type in your hex code right into the color, and we can check out how that changes it. So it's going to alter the color of the header bar. Once we get into the survey, it will alter the color of the links, of some icons, of some accents, and the buttons. Great. So we can also modify the icon. This is referring to the overall star rating icon. It's going to default to star. And if we reload this, we can see how those stars look, which we've been seeing all along. But there's another option if you want something a little different. You can choose to use the faces. So these behave a little different. Only individual faces hover instead of everything to the left. And that's just, kind of a different, maybe fun way that could match your brand better than stars if you decide to have the rating that way. And finally, we have the position. So this is going to default to the lower right corner, but you might have a widget that already takes up that space in your website, and this would overlap and look bad if it were there. So you also have the option to move it to the left side with position equals left. And in that case, it's just going to look and behave exactly the same, but it'll just be on the left side of your page so that it doesn't interfere with something that might be on the right. So that's everything for customization. And I'd encourage you to check out these docs for more. I have an example of how a fully customized HTML markup might look like, similar to what we constructed here over the course of this video, but for your reference. And there's some technical considerations about the web components and things like that. So appreciate your time and hope you enjoy using it. Thanks.